Okay, so the opportunities are glorious and great. What are they, everyone? Now, the law of attraction, how many of you saw the movie The Secret? Features my partner, Jack, Dr. Canfield. Any of you did not see The Secret? Okay, write it down as homework, right? It's been seen by 500 million people around the world. You what? You had the book, not as good. You got to watch the movie too. So, in The Secret, it says basically 3 laws. Number 1, touch yourself, say, what do I really want? Now, whatever you want includes what you don't want also, so you got to be really clear. Do you really want it, or do you just think you want it? Because if you make it your magnificent obsession, you get to whatever you have as a magnificent obsession. It's got to become the dominating thought for your 18 billion brain cells. I desperately wanted to be a speaker when I was bankrupt after 6 months' time. I had 4 roommates in Hicksville, Long Island, New York. Things weren't going that well. I say to my roommates at breakfast, I said, I want to speak. Is there anybody young speaking? I don't want a cotton top. I don't want a celebrity. I don't want a lawyer. I don't want a medical doctor. I want a human being that, one of my roommates said, this guy, Chip Collins, who's still my best friend after these 36 years, out in Hauppauge, Long Island, New York, speaks at 9 o'clock. I get my little beat up $400 pitted window, permanently air conditioned Volkswagen, which I was buying 25 cents of gas for, race my little butt out there, watch him mesmerize the audience, at the end of which I said, let's go to lunch if you'll pay. And you tell me, I didn't have any money. I've since taken him on trips to Hawaii and around the world, so he and I love each other. But the point is, I said, tell me how to do the business. The next day I started speaking. Was I ready to speak? Go like this. How many of you read Think and Grow Rich? It's a book you've got to read like 200 or 300 times to get it, but one of the key poems, which I thought about at 4 o'clock in the morning that I got to repeat because somebody in here needs it. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. No matter I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just, a fair employer, she'll pay you what you ask. But once you've set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire only to learn dismayed that any light wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. Napoleon Hill. Great poem. So if you know what you want, and if you haven't written down that you're on schedule to be a millionaire, it is a minimum. Write down, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Everyone say, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I'm on schedule to be a millionaire. Just that will wake a lot of you up, but sign it. I'm so happy I'm on schedule to be a millionaire. Then you put it on a little 3x5 card, you wrap it, and do we have a $100 loonie? Do you guys have $100? Right? In our country, what? Paper loonie, okay, well. Oh, so your paper money's not, so you wrap it in a $100 bill, you carry your goals with you, you look at them 4 times a day. Hold up 4 fingers. How many times a day? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and most importantly, before you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, wiggle your little finger, say, before I go to sleep. Again, before I go to sleep. Whispered in your neighbor's ear, right and left, before I go to sleep, I'm going to read this. So number 1, you know what you want. Everyone say, I know what I want. And where I'm at, you're going to write 101 goals. That's a minimum. And when you hit one of them, you don't cross it out like I got the milk, I got the eggs. In purple, that's the highest color God's got. It's the top of the electromagnetic spectrum, the top of the rainbow. You're going to write down victory. What are you going to write down? Because you need this, because all of our lives pulsate. Take your hand and say pulsate. And the day it's not going so well, you're going to go look at your victory list. Everyone say victory list. Now put your right hand over your left shoulder and say, attaboy, attagirl. You guys are having the most fun in this room. What was it that you guys did? That you live together? I'm glad you guys are having such fun. Next time when you sit in the front row, we need, do you know what a shill is? If you go to Stratford on the Avon, William Shakespeare had a guy promoting him. And he charged everybody a penny to get in, and this guy hyped everybody to come and see him, including the Queen Mom had to pay a penny to see Willie, right, one of his plays, and he became very rich at that. But he had shills, meaning people in the front row that whatever he said that was good, he told them in advance. He paid them a penny if they would stand up and roar at the right times, laugh at the right times, cry at the right times, and if they were crying, they're to look. There were other actors. They would look in the audience and go, "Isn't that the most sensitive thing you ever heard?" It's like we did, we wanted to do Chicken Soup for the Canadian Soul, and we did it, and it was your bestseller for 2.5 years. We did it with Raymond Aaron, who's one of your great speakers and a dear friend. And we had this story of Dick Clark is a Canadian from Toronto, and Dick Clark's up here running your Special Olympics, and he's got this little kid that just runs across the thing and beats. First of all, he's running, and another kid falls down. He runs back, picks him up, drags him across, but goes himself. He runs first, wins, and shouts, throws up his hands and said, "I won, I won, I won." Now, Mom and Dad are over on the right, their 5-year-old little handicapped kid crying their eyeballs out. And after an hour and a half, Dick Clark personally sees this from the grandstand and comes down and says, "Look, we're really proud of your kid winning, but an hour and a half of tears just because he won, isn't that a little excessive? Maybe you got to get it together." And said, "We're not crying because he won. We're crying because that's the first time he ever talked." Yeah, doesn't that get you? See, that's a Chicken Soup story, and that's what we wanted. We had 7 bands that would get you. And that's one of the, I can do all of them, but that's just one that I wanted to share with you today. So, number 2, universe only says? Yes. What does universe say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yes. Stand up. Please. What does universe say? Yes. One more time? Yes. Whispered in your neighbor's ear, right and left. Universe says yes to you. You may be seated. But you better be careful what you're asking for, because you're putting it in the law of attraction, you're putting it in thought escrow. Every thought you think shows up in escrow. That's why you want to be writing down your thoughts so you can look at them with a little bit of objectivity, not just subjectivity. And it'll be amazing. The more clear you get, one of the books I wrote with another Canadian over in Alberta, Jack and I wrote it with Les Hewitt, who's one of you guys who runs the Achievers Congress and does a brilliant job. But it's called The Power of Focus, and we said one of the things, here's a copy of that book. Yeah, see, my books just show up. Is this one of your favorite books? It is your favorite book. What's the best thing in the book for you? Power of Focus, baby. Power of Focus. We have a little chart in here that when you write the 101 goals, it's like a best of 8 tournament. Spell that word. Tournament. And I need a new secretary and I need a new desk. Well, if you get the secretary, that wins, and then you just go through it. And if you get a new secretary, that doubles your income. Then you can afford a new desk and a new car and all that stuff. So is it a good idea to empower yourself with these books? See, books are easy to get, easy to read, and usually easy to apply. The kind I write are self-help. They're 3 pages at a time, so you can read them before you go to sleep or in the bathroom or wherever the heck you're going to read, right? Or while you have breakfast and you're lonely and alone, whatever. Anyhow, right? But they're also easy not to get, easy not to buy, and easy not to read. Guy said, if I'd read that book, How Not to Get Divorced, before I did, it would have saved me $10 million. And that other joke, he says, when I got divorced, my wife took the dog, and I sure missed the dog. So universe only says? Yes. And number 3, you got to be in alignment. Take your hand, say in alignment. Now, what does in alignment mean? It means that when you tune to radio station 101 FM, you miss all the other stations. You get whatever you're tuned to. So when you clear up yourself, raise your level of discernment, raise your level of awareness. This morning, we're having breakfast up here with Hank, and Hank said in 3rd grade, I decided I would never tell another lie, and I never have, because you got to cover yourself with a lie, with a lie, with a lie, and then you bury yourself. So, yeah, you got to have a great memory if you're going to be a good liar. We see politicians have a hell of a time with this one, I'm telling you. That was before media, and especially before the internet, which Al Gore created. Al Gore went to Harvard with Jack. Jack's class at Harvard had Al Gore, Tommy Lee Jones, And one of their teachers happened to be one of our teachers, actually.